Well, we're here today at BC Rivers Day, also International Rivers Day 2011. And with me is Dr. Mcphail, who's just given us a fascinating presentation on the fishes in our river, the Slocan River. And something that's really important to us and we would like to get on record is just a brief statement about the impact of the damming on the fish populations and the biodiversity of the river.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Well, first of all, the Slocan River is now basically a fragment of the Columbia system. It's completely cut off by dams, both upstream and downstream, impassable dams. So it means that all the fishes in the Slocan River are isolated from the other populations of the same species elsewhere in the system. And this almost inevitably leads over time to inbreeding and the reduction of genetic diversity in the population, which is not a good thing at all. The other thing that has happened in the system is that the dams, specifically the Grand Coulee Dam, cut off the anadromous runs of salmon, and in doing so cut off the introduction of marine energy back into the river. So that is completely lost now and must have had a major impact on everything in the river, from algae through to fish and even to bears, and of course it had an enormous impact on the indigenous people in the area.
Thank you very much. That's
You're welcome.
Very informative, and thanks for coming today and sharing your knowledge and wisdom with us. Greatly
It was a great pleasure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I was wondering about the sturgeon. You said that there's the short nose and the long nose, and the long nose are further up. And before the dams, and did they travel? Did sturgeon ever make to the ocean, or did they have like a long travel path, or did they only spend a mile or two on the river?
And they moved around quite a bit, but the both in the lower Columbia and the lower Fraser, those populations are probably the strongest populations still in existence of the white sturgeon, and they have a rather limited range. In the Fraser, they're not totally stopped by the Hell's Gate, but essentially separated from the upstream ones. And in the Columbia River, there's a series of dams that basically form little islands of sturgeon habitat. So it's possible that the long noses, and I didn't mention the fact that the fins are different as well. They're very falcate, very sickle-shaped on the upstream long-nosed ones. And it's quite possible that that is a hydrodynamic effect, because the water velocities are much higher in the upper parts of the rivers than in the lower parts. Okay.
And you didn't use the word delicious. How are they?
Sturgeon are delicious.
And
one thing one wonders about is that now that we're starting to produce domestic sturgeon in at least land hatcheries and not in the ocean, and sturgeon products are coming online now quite regularly, caviar and meat. I don't know whether that will have a positive or negative impact on poaching, because there has been in the past persistent poaching of sturgeon because of the value of the animal, both as meat or as caviar. And presumably when products come on the market that are local and are how do you say, legal. This may slow poaching down entirely. Alternatively, it may make it easier for poachers to peddle their wares, because they can always be claimed that they were legally caught, or raised, sorry, not caught.
So how far back to the sturgeon date?
Okay. Sturgeon were around 200 million years ago.